What Devils? J-Dog back to answer the goddamn Devils on the fucking Devils commenting on Exhume time, goddammit. Now we're talking. It's got 30 comments, so decent amount. And people definitely just saying they like seeing the whole collection of shit. And there's a couple things I definitely saw on here that I thought would be make for a good video. So firstly, Life Eternal, he's just liking the video, and he's also asking my opinion on Gatecreeper. I don't know. I listened to something. I think it was a split with the Exhumed that I listened to, and like one full length in the shop, and then I saw them live with because they toured Exhumed tour with them on the horror. I think it was, yeah, it was for the last time I saw them on the horror album. Nothing stood out. I just thought it was more another Swedish death metal band, kind of late to the game. But I mean, if I got to know their songs and stuff, maybe I'd really like them. But I thought it was solid death metal, like that's the kind of music I like. It's just kind of like, oh, another Swedish death metal band. Like I have a million of these. If it was 14-year-old J-Dog and one of the first Swedish death metal bands I heard, I probably would have absolutely loved them. But now it's just kind of like my general rule of thumb is, especially if it has that Swedish sound whatsoever, they got to have the most fucking rip your fucking jaw off tunes of all time that catch you on the first hit. Like really catchy, really memorable, almost singing along on the fucking first, second listen for me to kind of like care, because there's so many bands that sound like that. The last band that really did that for me, that's what it sounds, was Entrails. Especially when Tales from the Moor came out, and then each one after that, I liked very, very, very much. So, but yeah, Gatecreeper, solid shit. Don't really know it. Obviously, I own that 10-inch, and I did listen to something else, one of the full lengths for sure. Forget the name of it. And I was like, yeah, it's solid. It's Swedish death metal, but kind of heard this a million times. Joseph O'Donovan asking, can you show us your best non-black shirts in your collection? Thing is like my shirts, I feel like I kind of don't need to show them, because you see what I got when I'm wearing it, right? And I don't own too many non-black shirts. And all the ones I think I do, like I wore a Flesh Grind, a Grave Worm that Kevin just gave me recently, that Mortal Decay, maybe one or two others I'm not thinking of. But I definitely wore those on camera. And yeah, I don't have very many others, like maybe two others or so. And I don't know, maybe I've already worn them. So I don't really have anything to show. Yeah, more of I definitely prefer black t-shirts. But I mean, I've kind of like 15-year-old J-Dog would have never wore a color shirt, white, red, nothing ever. Now I'm soft my stance. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of cool, but it's definitely not my preferred color shirt. I prefer black. Haunted Hotel Records, kind of a comment, and the reason I wanted to read this one off too is because somebody sent to me. Maybe it was Ben an email. He called us. I think it was Ben emailed, and he says, Exhume rule. Gore metal is my fave. Don't sleep on that Exhume Sanity's Dawn split 7-inch. The Sanity's Dawn side is incredible. They were still playing Gore Grind at this time. It's a great listen. Go revisit it. I do like Sanity's Dawn. I'm not a huge fan, but I do like them. But the thing is Ben said, they said, yeah, the only other 7-inch you're missing besides the new one you said was the fucking what's it called? The split with Sanity's Dawn, the Exhume. I was like, I have that. That's the one with its the Exhume side's all black, right? And it says Exhume 2000 or 2001 or whatever. And mine's signed. It's signed in gold ink. I was like, I showed it. That's like literally, I'm not going to rebust it out. But unless I forgot to show that, it's the Sanity's Dawn split. I'm almost positive. The Exhume side, right? It's just all black, and it says Exhume 2000 in like white, right? That's all it says, like no cover art. If that's it, yeah, I have it. I showed it. If I forgot to show it, I know I 100% have it. It's signed by Matt Cole, Mike Beams for sure, maybe even Bud. And I think Cole wrote like kill, kill, kill. Like I 100%. If that's the one, I'm pretty sure that's a split with Sanity's Dawn. I 1,000% have it. The only thing I did forget to show, I'm pretty sure I forgot to show it because it's mixed in. Some of my 10-inches, I started mixing in with my LPs because I don't have that many. But when I initially had 10 and stuff, I have about, as you guys see, the cubes behind me. Like, see those? I have a full a cube 3/4 full. And it's all 10 inches. I never intertwined in because that was just kind of how I early started it on. I kept it that way. I have the Exhumed and aborted 10-inch. I forgot to show that. That I do own as well. It's Live Japan, and I think that's the release where Matt Harvey says they cover Exhumed to Consume. I mean, they cover Carcass, Exhumed to Consume. And what does he say? He's like, we got a cover song here from a band from Liverpool, England. He's like, I'm not talking about the fucking Beatles either. I always thought that was funny. I'm almost positive it's on that release. But I think that's the only thing I forgot to show was the 10-inch with aborted, and I do own that. But yeah, let me know, Ralph, if that's the Sanity's Dawn split, because like I said, Ben said the same thing. I'm like, what? I was like, I have that. I was like, did I forget to show it on camera? I was like, I was like, if that, especially if that is the cover, which in my mind, the Sanity's Dawn split is the one I described. If that's it, I was like, I 100%, unless I'm mistaking it for another one. I was like, I definitely have that. I 100% positive I have that. From Goat666DB, kind of a book here, so I'm just going to skip down to the question. Question, J Dog. I know you like the first Aborted album. Sure do, love it. Do you like? Do you have any thoughts on Savin's other band, Leng Teshe? Oh, you know what? I didn't even know that was him. I know what you're talking about. I seen it. Don't know if I ever listened to it, but I did see it come through the shop at one point. Know exactly what you're talking about. Because I thought the name was weird. I'm like, what the fuck does this say? Like, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right now. The first album, Death by 1,000 Cuts, that's kind of a cool name, was really good grind, but definitely went down the shitter from what I've heard after that. Huh, what year is that one? Let me know, brah. Also, you mentioned Ingrowing. I love their first couple albums. Any other Czech death metal or grind bands you like? Keep up the good work. Czech grind bands. There is somebody, I'm sure. I will say this. A lot of the grindcore, like Ingrowing and stuff like that, it's all generally pretty fucking good. But the thing is a lot of it, like, it was kind of more so than even like Swedish, well, definitely more so than a Swedish death metal, a lot of black metal to where you're like, the sound's the same. Because like take a band like Gate Creeper, you're like, okay, this sounds like Swedish death metal, but their songs are easily distinguishable. But a lot of the grindcore bands, not so much gore grind, but just straight up grindcore bands. To me, a lot of it, when it all sounded like Phobia or Agathocles, it was kind of like I didn't really need it unless they had really standout, memorable songs. Because bands like a Phobia and especially Gothic, because they had so many releases of their own, like it was kind of hard to distinguish all that apart. Like even those, I only own a couple releases by both bands because I'm like, it's almost like I can't like it's all good, but I'm like it's just kind of like it's not that memorable. Like my brain can't almost like store that much shit. So in a lot of bands that were kind of influenced by that, it was kind of like, oh, it's just this again, and a lot of the songs for the bands that were pioneered were blurring together already as is. So I kind of didn't need to see a need for it. But a lot of that grindcore stuff, like that's influenced by, like I said, Phobia and Agathocles. I put Ingrowing in that category personally. It's been a while since I've been growing, so they like, what the fuck? They don't sound anything like that, J Dog. Then correct me if I'm wrong. It's been about a good 10 years since I listened to Ingrowing, but that's what I recall them sounding like in that style. That style, what's cool about it though is I can always put on the shop in the background and I'm entertained. You know what I mean? It's never like shut this off. This is giving me a headache, or this is annoying, or this sucks, or this is boring, or I'm falling asleep over here. It's always an enjoyable listen. It's just like if I literally played it the next day, I'm like, oh, this is a new listen because it's kind of unmemorable and all blurs together. So yeah, when I think of Czech Republic grindcore, it's kind of what I think. A bunch of bands that are cool to listen to the shop, but probably stuff I want to buy. I'm sure there's somebody that I'm probably a big fan of though, but Czech Republic grindcore, no one's I'm a big fan of. No one's coming to my mind right off the top of my head. There probably is at least one band. This guy, yeah, I saw this one. I wanted to read this off, so I don't know if he took it the wrong way. It seems like it was a good spirit, but still kind of funny. 1,000 pound poser, fucking black. Goddamn, damn, really? Is that how you feel about black vinyl? No, it's not. Honestly, it's kind of an inside joke. I think it might have been Chase or somebody that first said it. Like, kind of like years ago when we were kids. Oh, you got the poser version, just kind of like ball busting, or like if you didn't have whatever, you're missing a mandatory fucking poser. You know what I mean? Or that's what people will say to you about like just kind of like when those threads came in and NWN or whatever. Like if you haven't heard Sarcophagus or INRI, they're thinking like fucking poser. So it's just kind of like an inside joke, like because a lot of times like color vinyl they're more limited or harder to get, and the black was easier to get. So it's like, God damn, I got the fucking poser version. I don't got the Die Hard because, like for example, Nuke War Now, he was doing Die Hard versions. I think he still does, but I don't know if he does it as elaborate or maybe as limited. I'm not sure. But when he was doing only 100 or 200 copies. Like, for example, Toxic Holocaust, Even Never Dies, shit like that. When that originally came out, there's a Die Hard version. I think it was only 100. And I think it sold out immediately. So all that was left was the Poser Black. And I go, oh, fucking Die Hard. I love this record. I got to have it, And they were always on color. So that's where that stemmed from. So no, I don't think you're a poser if you own a black vinyl. It's just kind of an inside joke. And if nothing else, it's kind of funny. I thought it was anyways. I always kind of felt the opposite. Why do you have to have fruity colors and or pictures on the medium? That's what the jacket and inserts are for. Color variants can be attractive. I own many, but I tend to go for black for whatever reason. They are a little cheaper a lot of time. Picture discs seem to only work as display items, and I'd rather spend money on things I play, so I pretty much Never buy those. To each their own, I guess, but I'm a little surprised you consider black vinyl a poser variant. Either way, full support, bud. Take care of yourself. Yeah, so kind of explain that. The reason I really like color vinyl too is because a lot of the stuff I really buy is kind of like my favorite albums and stuff like that too. It's kind of like, in a sense, as nerdy as it sounds, it's kind of like collecting baseball cards too, because yeah, it's got the music on there, but it's like when there's more than one version, it's just kind of cool. Nothing else, you know what I mean? Well, because you're not going to do a different cover on an album all, so just what color vinyl you have. It's kind of like, I don't know, like I said, collecting baseball cards. Like when you, I never personally collected baseball cards, but when I was a kid, I collected comic book cards, like X-Men and shit like that. And you'd go and you would, remember they're sealed. There's like, I don't know, was there 10 or 15, 20 cards in a pack? They're sealed. You didn't know what was getting in it. You open them, oh man, do I have this one or not? It's kind of like that with the color vinyl kind of sense. Yeah, dorky as fuck, but hey, it is what the fuck it is. David Kelly, hey J-Dog, are there any albums you really want to put out or reissue, but figured it would be too far-fetched to try or even bother? Fuck yeah, there is. Laundry list of them. Also, since you said you like Frightmare, it would be cool as fuck if Hells do a picture this Midnight Murder Mania because I love the art. Obviously, just hypothetically saying. Yeah, I mean, actually, I just brought it up to Eric and Chase, see what they're saying. I want to get that kind of going, and I think it's realistic because Billy Razorback, we're kind of, I don't know if we'd be considered friends, but we're kind of, I like the guy, and he knows who we are, and I think he likes us too. I think it's within reason to ask him because I'm assuming he owns all that shit, or if he doesn't, he at least knows who to get in contact with. Personally, right now, as far as the Razorback stuff, what I would like the stance to do is the first two Frightmares on vinyl. The first Midnight Murder Mania actually has been on vinyl. I own it, but at this point, it's like fuck it, just do it again because that's long the fuck out of print. I mean, I got that when it came out. That was what, early 2000s. The second one's never been on vinyl, or if it has, it's recent and I've never seen it. But to my knowledge, it's never been just on CD, which is what I own. First two Frightmares, and I'd also like to do the first two Lord Gores, especially the first album, Lord Gore. Fucking love it. Do both those on vinyl. So that's what I have in mind. What happened, who the fuck knows? But that is what I would like to do, and I am going to ask around. From Adam Schnellback, nice shirt. Also, Banished or Bathmate? For me, Bathmate all the way. The Banished album I do like. Some people don't even like the Banished album at all. I will say this: I do like it. It's a good album. The Banished, it's kind of like it's got parts where it's kind of got some of this going on. Not Yo Boy, but almost kind of. But it's catchy and I like it. But if Reaper walked in or something, he'd be a prime candidate. Would do it. He'd walk in and be like, "What's this homeboy shit?" I would understand what he means. I would be like, I wouldn't go as far as calling him homeboy, but I get where you're coming from. But I do like it. But Baphomet, the Dead Shall Inherit, I don't think anything that the band's ever done even compares to that. Even their 7 inches of shit with some of the same songs, the recording Dead Shall Inherit, I thought was by far the best. The first Exhumed 7-inch reissue was on like Red by Jim Rowe, I think. I forget, but Matt Harvey rules. Bands need to stop shooting HD and then releasing on VHS because it's cool. He's just kind of commenting on shit about VHS and shit like that. Uh, These are goddamn questions. Oh, here's kind of a good one because I have a good question. Ricky J. Mini story time in question. I had the Death Revenge CD signed by Matt Harvey, drummer Mike Hamilton, Bud Burke, and live bassist Slime. I don't know Slime. Just need Ross to sign. Yeah, Ross Sewage. He's also an extremely cool guy too. Have you heard the Gore Metal re-recording Gore Metal Necrospective? Yeah, it's a double disc. I have it where it's got the different cover art, and actually that cover is cool too. Not as cool as the original Gore Metal, and it comes with the disc, the re-recording disc, and it comes with the original recording disc. I own that as well. But there's an LP of that. I don't think I own that on LP. I think that might be one of the LPs I'm missing. Anyways, I do like it. I like the recording, but I mean, the original blows it away. And I don't think there's any need to record it. See, a lot of times the bands, they think that they're like, oh, it sounds like shit, or it's this, because I know they thought that because they say it. Actually, I think it's in that release where they talk about it, where just, a throwback of, thinking of it. I think there's this interview with like Cole and Matt as well, and maybe all the guys, maybe even Mike and shit. Can't remember, but they're basically all kind of include they don't like how it sounds or whatever. I'm like, what do you mean? I love how this fucking sounds. And I would just put it like, you're just being your own worst enemy because you guys are the bands, you're the artists, so you're going to be your biggest critic. You know what I mean? But just because it's what came out, that's all it needed. So I didn't think it needed to be re-recorded. Although, like I said, I still enjoyed it because the songs are so good. It's kind of hard not to enjoy. But it definitely lost some of the character. Like some of the character and punch is definitely on the original recording. And the thing is, it's funny is I don't understand like why guys like Matt and Cole and shit like that wouldn't understand that for their own band, because I can guarantee you they still like stuff like Sodom and the Sign of Evil and didn't Sodom re-record that? And didn't like Exodus Bonded by Blood get recorded? Or what's another one? I know Destruction did, but Sodom's a really good one because I would almost be willing to bet that fucking I don't know this for fact because so if he says in an interview he says he loves it, then chill the fuck out. But I just know how these guys work for the most part. Is like fucking Tom from Sodom. He'd be like, yeah, that sounds like shit. I don't really like how it sounds, blah, blah, blah. But it's a fucking metal masterpiece, you know what I mean? Possessed Seven Churches, same thing. I'm sure Jeff, like, it sounds like shit. Yeah, or you know what I mean? One of the members thinks that's like, no, dude, don't record, don't touch it. That's part of the character. That's the history. It's fucking awesome. Like that was part of what made it what it was and how it sounds. You know what I mean? But I'm sure, like the guys at Exhumed, I'm sure they love those records and understand. Like when they got that as a kid, that's what they knew and loved. They're probably like, re-record. You don't need to re-record the Sign of Evil. That's ridiculous. And the Sign of Evil sounds great. That's kind of how I feel about gore metal. Liked the re-recording, but was completely unnecessary. Now I will tell you this: what I did not like at all, I guess it can make it, is the Impaled re-recorded The Dead Shall Dead Remain. The re-recording of that I did not like at all. And The Dead Shall Dead Remain, I'm a huge fan of that. Because I think the sound on that, I love on that record. I'm like, what do you do? This record sounds awesome and it sounds so fucking heavy. That was a big thing that made that fucking album so great. Was the sound? I was like, it sounds heavier than a motherfucker. Then when they re-recorded, it was just kind of like polished up turd. Where I'm like, this, I didn't like it. Definitely unnecessary. Kind of like it reminds me of that fucking line. And you guys ever see Rush Hour 2? And there's the guy, I don't know what the fuck he's singing on stage. And was it Chris Tucker? Is that his name? Chris Tucker? Well, whatever the fuck his name, the black guy in the movie. You know what I'm fucking talking about. And he's just standing looking at the bar. He's like, man, this guy's butchering a classic. Boo! That's what I was thinking about doing when I heard the re-recording of the Dead Shall Dead Remain. Yeah, asking a question that I don't even fucking. He's asking about equipment and shit. I don't. Asking the wrong guy, bro. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, bro. I might just record this on a laptop and wish I knew more about that stuff. But me, I'm a fucking total retard when it comes to that stuff. From Horn Spawn, he's just kind of asking about my stereo turntable setup. Nothing fancy, man. Just it's a regular turntable. Actually, I got a brand new one that needs to be fucking hooked up. Reaper did it for me. I didn't know how to do it. It's a little bit more of a fancy turntable than I'm used to. But what I had was just a Sony one before where you had the fucking up down button. You had to start and stop. That was literally it on the 33, where you just, you could flick the fucking thing to the 33 or 45 speed. That was it. That's what I had for years. That's what I still have at the shop. The one that I always had at my house, I had that for 15 years, but it eventually died. Like I think it was the belt that went. And I got a new, I basically paid Reaper to fucking hook my shit up. And he went out and got me a new record player. And he couldn't figure out how to get it hooked up. And he's supposed to come back and do it, so he hasn't done that yet. But it's just a regular CD player. That record player is just hooked up to a receiver and just regular. I have some Bose speakers, some pretty good speakers that I bought. I had those Bose speakers since I was a teenager kid, but that's what I bought, and that's what I still have. And they still work, which is kind of fucking impressive. Over 20 years old. From Nate Beltran. What's up, J-Dog? Question. Just curious what your thoughts are on the following bands: Defeated Sanity, Artificial Brain, Deathspell Omega, and Demolic. Cheers, brah. Pretty much all in the band, all in the category of forgotten or they're okay, just don't really care about though. Don't think any of them suck. Artificial Brain, I don't even know if I've officially listened to. I know exactly what you're talking about. We've had in the shop. I want to say I listened to them, but I can't think what they sound like. Demolic, their demos and shit were cool, but it's almost like I just can't get into it. But I liked the fucking Jim Kanye Sadist Stories. I mean, yeah, he loved that fucking demo. I just remember the fucking King Kong vocals. It was neat, but it was kind of like I just couldn't get into it. But I liked it for its originality. And then the album, when I remember it came out, it was just another standard death metal album from what I remember. I just remember it didn't have the character of the demo, even though the demo didn't. it didn't knock my socks off because just musically it just wasn't jamming my fucking neck, if you know what I mean. But I was like, at least it's original. Kind of like when I talked about like Blasphemy, Fallen Angel of Doom and stuff. Like, I'm not a big Blasphemy fan because it just doesn't do anything for me. But I respect it for what it is, and the coolness, because the originality of what it was at the time was like nothing sounded like this. So that's kind of where Demolic was for too. But I was like, putting it on didn't just do much for me at all. So James Yamayan. Hey J Dog, you should make a video talking about the funniest poser encounters at HHR. Kind of already have, the only because not too many people come down in general. The only people that come down on a daily basis other than employees, there's not many of those, is UPS comes down every day, USPS comes down every day, DHL and FedEx most days. That's it. So it's just the drivers, you know what I mean? Like dropping off mail and picking up mail. That's it. They're in and out. There's not like really posers like I told the 216 fucking Soulfly douche canoe guy. That's a rare instance, and he was just there because he was just fixing the goddamn roof. You know what I mean? He had nothing to even do like shopping around. But as far as like posers walking in the shop, never really had that. The only thing kind of closest things we had is like I remember one like really old guy, he's like 75 years old. He comes in, you guys sell the Beatles? And I'm like, oh no, sorry, it's like underground metal music. Oh, okay, just turn around left. But I mean, I just think he saw records and was just asking for that. But I mean, nothing eventful. I've had a couple of those, but nothing like guy walking around total juggalo with an ICP shirt looking for fucking Soulfly and Slipknot. Like, man, where's it at, bro? Where you could like, where you're kind of like insinuating, referring, or hoping to hear like funny type stories because that would be funny. Never actually had those, believe it or not. Like, never had it. Richard Wolf. Not much of an Exhumed fan, but I did see them open for Mayhem back in 2000. That's when I first saw them, brah brah, and they were fantastic. I have an off-topic question. Do you think Judas Iscariot and Weakling are overrated? Don't know who Weakling is. A Judas Iscariot? Yeah, I think it's totally overrated. As a matter of fact, we just got some Judas Iscariot LPs in this week. I forget which title. I think we had like 30 copies. We sold all of them out in less than 24 hours. All of them. I come in the morning, all gone. Whatever. I don't need it. I just put it on and just like there's just nothing there. It's just I don't know, depressive, tough guy. I'm too badass and evil to fucking smile black metal that has no riffs. That's kind of what the category I put them in. I mean, to their defense, it's been quite a while since I listened to them, but that's what I remember being whenever I heard. And I can't say I've listened to every album. Maybe it's just the one I heard, but I just remember kind of in that Vlad Tepes category, just where it's kind of like this is what it is. Like, what am I listening to? Like, where are the riffs? Where's the catchiness? Where's the sing-alongs? Where's the punch? Where's the hooks? Like, it's just monotonous, just monotone guitar with some black metal vocals, which I generally black metal vocals are cool in general, but it's just kind of like, they almost always sound the same. I mean, it's one thing if it was kind of like that tone, but it had like a really catchy fucking riff or whatever. Like, we're like, oh fuck, this is really catching my attention. But it's never that. At least not what I've heard. I'm just like, well, like I don't get it. Like, what's the point? Michael Weenus. Hey, J Dog, obviously your tastes are mainly on the brutal slash gory slash satanic side, but how do you feel about some of the more nerdy hippie metal stuff, like early Cynic, Atheist, or even Nothing Face era? Voivod? It's funny, actually, I don't like any of those bands. It's funny you say that. Voivod's a very respectable band. War and Pain, it's like really original. Actually, that's another band. It's in the same category with Blasphemy and who else did I put in that categories? Important bands that just don't do anything for me. I definitely recognize its importance, and it was very fucking original, especially for the time. Like, no one sounded like them. It's just I put it on. I'm like, I don't think it sucks by any means. I'm like, just doesn't do anything for me. However, I do like Deceased cover on 13 Frightened Souls, the title track Voivod. I thought that was really good. But I don't know. I put it on. I'm just like, this doesn't do anything. And Killing Technology, same thing. I'm just like, it's just not. And then there's Roar. I didn't think any of it sucked. It's unique. I'll give them that. I'm just like, but I put it on. I'm just like, this is. I'm just like almost like find myself daydreaming and not pay attention. I'm like, this isn't holding my attention. Goatman, great video, bro. Any bands that you think should just stop releasing material? And do you have a reason that you think those bands should stop? Yeah, at this point, Morbid Angel. Reason? I mean, do I need to give a reason? The reason's pretty obvious. Um, but I guess if I need to give a reason, I will. It's because I mean they did some atrocious albums, and it's at this point, Morbid Angels obviously will always be, no matter what they do from here on out, is be a legendary name. I mean, Ultra Madness I think is one of the greatest albums ever, but they're butchering the catalog by doing whatever they're doing. Even if they put on an album, let's say it's somewhat decent, the problem is it's abundantly fucking obvious that none of those guys like fucking death metal anymore. It's like Trey and shit. He's obviously the main guy in the band. I mean, it's his band basically. It's just obvious. It's purely for a fucking paycheck. 100% for a paycheck. And I have no problems like if bands like Cannibal Corpse shit, they get a paycheck or whatever, but still put out fucking songs that you believe in or are passionate and don't fully change. It's just very, very obvious. Trey does not listen to fucking metal by any stretch of the imagination, has zero interest. You know damn well he's going to practice. All right, let's get this shit over with. What do the kids want to fucking hear? It's abundantly fucking obvious that that's the fucking case. So yeah, they just need to stop putting out albums because it's just like it's almost disrespectful to the fucking Devils in my opinion. Human Brisket, great collection. Any Bud Burke stories? Wish I could have seen them with Bud on guitar. Stories, no, other than just him puking on stage. Got live photos of that. He would do that, and he was a really cool guy in person. He's the one I probably talked to the least when it was my favorite lineup when it was Matt, Cole, Mike Beams, and Bud Burke. The reason I said it's my favorite lineup is because that's when I saw them the most. That was the Slaughter Cult lineup, and I saw them a few times between Slaughter Cult and Anatomy of Destiny. So yeah, that was my favorite lineup. But out of all those guys, Bud I talked to the least, but they were all super cool guys, friendly. But no other stories than just I thought it was fucking hilarious of him just puking on stage and shit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was a cool guy. Signed all my shit. I got my picture with him. Have actual photos of the show, him playing, him puking. Like I said, so yeah, but no like he fucking gave somebody a swirly in the bathroom or anything like that type of stories. So this looks like is the last goddamn question here. So I'll knock it out real quick. We're just under 30 minutes anyways. From Dan Van Dam, 1900. I've seen you comment on a few things, on a few videos. So shout out to you, bravo. It's been a while since I've seen you comment anything though. Maybe this answer why. I see why. Hey J-Dog, I'm getting over the flu. Missed the gym 12 days in a row. Is that flu for AKA Wimpid? People like to call it the same thing. Last 3 days I've gone back and feel my strength and cardio has regressed. I still have congestion and a little shortness of breath. Thoughts? I wouldn't give it too much thought, man. I mean, you're just obviously if you had the flu, like look, where I've really been sick and I'm throwing up and shit like that and diarrhea, which I don't get sick often. It's weird because in the last I think again to the point where just my body just doesn't want to like push anything anymore. Because this year and last year during my bulk, when I was really trying to push it and food was getting really high, my body was basically refusing. I did get really sick for like 2 days straight where I was throwing up and diarrhea. It's no coincidence. At the same time, it was literally within weeks apart at the same time of the year, doing the exact same thing. So pretty sure it's my body just saying, "Hey, asshole, fuck you. We're not doing this no more." Uh, I literally like within 2 days lost 14 fucking pounds because I couldn't eat at all. I couldn't even hold down fucking like even water would come straight out of my ass almost. So, but yeah, when you go back to gym, you're pretty fucking weak. But that's just because you have basically no glycogen storage in your muscle. You're dehydrated. Your electrolytes are probably way off. Just give it a few days. Just go in there, train what you can. The congestion and shit, just wait for that to go away. I mean, if as long as you can breathe and shit like that, just go train. Don't worry about the strength, man. Don't come back once you're eating up. Your meals are back to where they were, and you put on that the fucking all your electrolyte balance goes back up. You're fully hydrated again, and all the glycogen stores restoring your muscle cells because you probably because my thoughts are when you said you're sick, you were probably not eating much at all, and or probably throwing up, which you're definitely losing fucking all kinds of shit like that. Like I said, electrolytes, fluids, and that's could have a huge toll on your strength. The good news is 7 to 10 days, you'll be right back to where you are. So I would don't even worry about it. Just get back on your plan, man. Get back on your fucking eating regimen and the training protocol. Whatever your strength is, it is. I mean, if you can fucking normally bench press 225 for 12 reps, and now you're only doing 225 for 5, or you drop down so not to hurt yourself to 185 for 10, and that's fucking with your mind. Don't worry about it, man. Because like I said, 7 to 10 days, you'll be back to where you fucking were. I promise. I've been there. Yeah, when I lost like 14 pounds, I go. I mean, I didn't lose anything crazy where I had to drop down that much, but nonetheless, there was a noticeable decrease. Like, holy fuck, these fucking weights feel heavy as fuck. And almost like I did reduce the weights a little bit for a week or two because even like if I was able to get like let's say if whatever I was doing for like 8 to 10 reps, let's say I only got 4 or 5 reps. Yeah, I got it for a few reps, but that's a huge decrease. But the big thing I noticed too is my joints just from doing it felt like achy as fuck. And that's partially because you're dehydrated, and when you're dehydrated, the fluid in the joints is called a synovial fluid. That's reduced as well. And if you have low synovial fluid in the joints, it's going to have more like grinding. So yeah, that's a sign. Just lighten up the fucking load. Maybe go for a little bit more just pump work. Not like a complete pussy train pump work, like pump work to failure, but a higher rep range, 12, 15, 20 reps. Give that 7 to 10 days, and like I said, once you're all refed up, it'll come right back. So it's not a big deal because you don't lose anything significant in fucking. What'd you say? You're down for 12 days. There's actually a fucking study showing because a lot of people brought up these fucking studies when COVID was going on. People are like, oh my god, I can't go to the gym. I'm going to lose all this muscle. Basically, it shows for you to be catabolic and start losing actual muscle contractile tissue, not water in the muscle, not glycogen, not just protein breakdown, but actual contractile tissue. It was over people that were bedridden in fucking a hospital bed with an IV in them, and they didn't start losing muscle, like no movement whatsoever. Because any movement, even if you're walking and shit, because you're carrying your own body weight around, that'll help preserve muscle than doing nothing. So zero activity, literally bedridden with a fucking IV in them because they're injured or whatever happened. They didn't start to lose any contractile tissue, actual muscle, until 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So you were at least moving around somewhat. I mean, I highly doubt you were strapped to a bed where you couldn't even get up to take a fucking piss. And you were 12 days. You guys lost that. And you probably were at least able to eat something within those 12 days. I doubt you had a fucking IV in you. So the chance of you actually lost raw muscle tissue, like put a piece of steak in front of you because that's actual muscle, that you lost any of that, is I almost guaranteed you didn't. You just lost water in the muscle, glycogen in the muscle, electrolytes, things like that, which will definitely fuck with your strength. But the odds of you actually lost muscle is slim to none. So I wouldn't worry about it, man. Give it 10 days or so, you'll be back fucking banging top notch like you were, right back to where you were. And just start, work to progress from there. Better yourself from there, whatever your goals are. So yeah, hope that answers that, brah. And that's it for this one, Devils. And leave me any other fucking questions you got. Anything about anything. I answer anything. Open goddamn book over here. It doesn't have to just be about asking me whatever the fuck you want about anything. I don't give a shit. I'll answer anything. So as long as I got something to say about. So leave it in the goddamn comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.